I'd like to talk to you in the next few moments about why mindfulness matters so much. It's a word that's used quite a lot these days, and I'd like to talk about why it matters to achievement. So I'm going to share with you a couple of slides, and let's talk about mindfulness. Think about how well you concentrate on a typical day. Most of the time, people are not aware of where their attention is. Although we may not notice it, we get distracted all the time. When we're reading something, when we're driving, when we're eating, when we're watching, we get distracted by things that don't seem to relate to our actual goals. We'd like to escape from reality pretty much. And as a result, whatever means something to us in terms of achievement gets left behind. So can we improve this? I think we can quite a lot. If we can manage our minds better, then we can manage our time better. So part of this, I think, is to learn to hold yourself to account without being cruel or negative, just being able to remind yourself of the consequences of poor behavior, but also of the good behavior. Alanis Morissette, the singer, says, "I've been running so sweaty my whole life, urgent for a finish line, and I've been missing the rapture this whole time of being forever incomplete." I think that's a really nice way of saying maybe we could simply learn to accept ourselves, strengths and weaknesses, and enjoy that, enjoy who we are as an individual, rather than spending a lot of time trying to be someone we're not. We multitask, for instance, thinking that we can do more than one thing at a time. We become busy with what we're doing, and whatever tasks we're on seem to suffer as a result in terms of the quality of work we complete. Where is your focus, in other words? So part of self-awareness is to know where your mind is focused at any point in time. Is it focused on the present? Is it focused on the past, or is it focused on the future? So part of self-management, which seems quite simple, but is about habit change, is to learn to refocus your mind into the present more often. Noticing how often your mind falls back into the past or onto the future. When we're falling back into the past, thinking about what's happened, maybe there are signs there that there are some things within us that still need resolving. When we're focused too much on the future, we're probably thinking negative things about the future and trying to make sure that they don't happen. And that gets in the way of us doing well in the present. When we're focused on the present, we're much more likely to do our best at whatever we're focusing on. That is a skill. That is a really fundamental skill to achieving anything. That's pretty much what mindfulness is about. It's about awareness. It's about being conscious of what you're paying attention to. So mindfulness is all about being as aware as possible of what's happening right now and being open to whatever's happening in the present, being receptive to it and being interested in the experience you're having in that moment. So a typical example would be to sit on a beach, watching the sunset, for instance, and just trying to remain as fully present as possible, enjoying that moment. And notice how your mind will attempt to go into the past or into the future, all of that can wait. You're not going to be there long. The sunset won't last. So try to be fully present in that moment. And it's the same for when you're with someone who's important to you. See how well you can be fully present with them. And that's what creates better connections with people. That's what mindfulness is all about. It's a very handy skill for all sorts of experiences in life. So mindfulness is about learning how to attend to what matters in the present moment. Having self-control when it comes to thoughts about past or future, and being open and accepting about what's happening in the moment, and trying to remain calm in the present. So there's a self-control part of that, and there's an openness to what's happening as well. So part of this openness is being less reactive to things, but just having more acceptance for what is happening now, even if it's something that you don't like. So part of the skill, and most people need to practice this to get better at it, being open to the situation, trying to focus your attention on the present, accepting uncertainty, and to stop comparisons that might be going on in your head. Comparisons tend to get in the way of being fully present. Releasing the need to solve is similar. Why am I trying to solve something in my mind that doesn't actually need to be solved right now? And that I might not even know all the different components to it anyway. I need to accept that that's left unsolved and there are uncertain components to that issue. That's a skill. That's a real skill. This is part of the reason why people struggle so much with mindfulness, because it seems so simple. But when there's stuff in our minds that we're trying to solve that we can't, it gets in the way of being fully present. So I hope that makes sense to you, because that's a really important skill within our psychology. Part of this is simply tuning into what you're conscious of. So a typical basic way of becoming more mindful is to focus on your breathing and using your breath to relax in the moment. So as you breathe in positive energy. As you breathe out, you think about the stress that you're releasing. And when you're focusing on the breath, your mind is becoming more in the present moment. A couple of other examples of mindfulness are simple questions you can ask yourself that helps you adjust. So how am I moving? Too fast, too slow, for instance? How am I breathing? Maybe I need to adjust that. How am I speaking? How am I writing? How am I sitting? Am I slouched? Am I upright? As we become more aware of these basic things, we can adjust and improve ourselves. How am I feeling? How am I standing? How am I relating to other people? Again, this is a really fundamental part of self-awareness. If we ask ourselves these questions a bit more regularly, then we adjust whatever we need to adjust, and we become better versions of ourselves in the present moment. The other part of mindfulness that, again, is quite simple, but sometimes a little difficult to master, is being fully present in whatever you're doing. When you're driving a car, just concentrate on driving the car, nothing else. When you're eating, that's all you do. When you're reading, that's all you're supposed to be doing, etc., etc. So one thing at a time is the mantra for mindfulness. So when we practice mindfulness, we connect better with ourselves and our minds, and we connect better with the world around us and with other people. We let our judgments and our criticisms and our comparisons go, and we just accept where we're at in the present moment. We don't try to solve everything that's happening in our heads, and that creates better calmness. So that's just one example of the type of topics that we talk about and improve within the Thrive program, which is a performance coaching program online where it's a subscription service where you have access to dozens of different topics via webinars and reflective workbooks, where we have live group coaching sessions and a community of people who support and give you feedback. And there's one-on-one coaching available too. So it's a whole ecosystem, if you like, of self-improvement. If you're interested, have a look at our website, and I hope to see you soon, sometime in our program. Hope you've got something out of today's video, and thanks for watching.